Alrighty guys, I'm going to teach you how I connect my leader to my braid. So I have about, let's say, a good four feet worth of 10-pound fluorocarbon. What you're going to do is create kind of like this bend. So I just take a pinch and I'm going to create this loop right there. Hold that, so now you have like this loop. Take your braid, go through that, pinch it, so now you have all three in this hand, and you're going to get a good amount of braid in this hand. So once you have that, grab these in your grab these two, your tag end right here on these fingers, and you're just going to start wrapping. And I do about 10 wraps, close wraps. That's 2, 3, 4, 9, and 10. Then from here, you're going to go back the opposite way. So pinch and hold that, and now you're just going to kind of go back on top of itself, same amount, so 10 wraps. And I'm aiming in between the two wraps. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm trying to go in between those two wraps. Okay. Alright, and once you get close to the end and you've done your 10 wraps backwards, the last step is to go back through that loop that you initially entered. So you have both lines coming basically out from where you started. Then you wet this with saliva just so you don't create a friction burn, and you pull. I hold these two and I hold these two and I just pull down and cinch it. If you do it correctly, it turns out like that. And now, from there, I grab these two ends without the tags, and I pull on those, and it'll just cinch up a little more, and that's how I connect my leader line to my braid. Trim the excess. Make sure you're cutting the tag end and not the other. There are stronger knots. This is the one that works for me. I know the FG knot, I believe, is technically a stronger knot, more secure, but I don't know how to tie that one yet. So this is what I'm working with. And then I'm just going to do a simple fisherman's knot to tie off my jig head. So I believe this is a 1/4 ounce hookup bait, red crab. I find the bass like this color. I've had more luck on the red crab than others, so that's what I continue to use. I'll just be flipping some pylons, taking a nice little stroll in the marina. Alright, so goal for today is just to target these pylons. So I'm just going to be flipping towards them in and near, and just hitting to the bottom, giving a few pops. Let's see if we can't get some of these sand bass to bite, but generally you want to get as close as you can. And you keep moving. Just sets. Just keep on flipping. We just do this. We just flip. We think we see structure. We hit that structure. And we keep flipping. So a good way to tell, especially with these sand bass, or the spotted bass. I think we'll find spotties here, not really sand bass, but a good way to tell if you're bit on the way down is, see, there was a guy.
Alrighty guys, Grant here, coming in with a little post-production explanation of how we are using this fishing technique. for basically just flipping the pilings. So here's the setup. You're up here on the harbor. Here's your piling. Here's your dock. The fish are all going to be at the bottom. So the goal is when you cast, you're trying to get it right here, and it'll kind of angle in, and your line is basically going to just swivel on its way down. And all the fish are looking up, right? They're looking up, and they'll see this thing coming down. And a lot of the times, if there's the fish there, they'll go ahead and bite it. So you know that the distance to get from the water to the bottom is about 2 seconds, right? If you cast and instead of 2 seconds, what it's supposed to be, it's actually 4 seconds, what that meant is a fish grabbed it and it's swimming, and your line is just continuing to peel. So if that happens, close your bail and set the hook. Another option is if the fish grabbed it and they swam up and grabbed it here, and it didn't take 2 seconds, and you're like, wait a second, that was not, like, my line should continue to peel out. The fish had grabbed it, and it's now just standing there, and it's just sitting in the water column. Close the bail and set the hook as well. You never know. That could also be a fish, or it could be hung up on a piece of vegetation or other things. Another option is you cast it, and your bait has now reached the bottom, right? It's sitting here at the bottom, and what you're going to do is you're just going to pop it up, and the bait is going to jump, and it's going to flutter back down. That's good. At any point, that fish could also grab it, but when you do that motion, when you're pulling up and creating that action on the bottom, you're actually going to get a little bit of loose line here on the surface because you're pulling it towards you, and the more the line is towards you, the more slack you're going to have. And I actually use that slack. Some people are going to reel it in right away. I actually like to leave the slack, and I watch it. And you'll see later in this video a good example of why that's important. If you have slack line, it's not supposed to move. It's buoyant. It'll just stay there in the water column. If that line starts to move any direction, a fish has grabbed your bait and is now swimming away with it and making the light become taut. So you just set the hook, and most of the time you're going to have a fish. So hopefully this makes a little bit more sense on what you're doing when you're fishing this way. I'll show you some examples in the video. Obviously, I'll be using all of these techniques. So just keep that in mind, and hopefully this made a little bit more sense.
There we go. See? That one. Saw my line start moving and I set the hook. Nice spotty. Oh, no, it's no, it is a spotty. Nice. That's how you do it. I saw my line moving and you just set the hook because he swam by. He picked it up. I just saw that loose line just start going. You know you got a fish, you just set it. Good fish. It was bigger than I thought he was going to be. That's one. Keep going.
How's it fishing?
One so far. One little spotty.
What kind of fish you catching here?
Bay bass. There's a couple different, calico, bay bass, and then sand bass.
If this water weren't so dirty, would they be tasty?
Yeah, you can catch them off the shore.
Yeah.
But anything in the harbor,
They
you don't
don't
want to
eat.
keep anything
I
like
know.
that. It's just fun to catch them because they're plentiful in here.
Oh, sure.
How big are they?
They vary. So you can catch the little small ones, and the biggest one I got was 17 inches.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, they get pretty big.
That'd be a meal.
Yeah.
Take care.
You too, sir. That underhand cast is probably the best way to maintain control. You don't want to hit any boats or anything like that, any outboards. So that little pitch, definitely the best way to maintain control. So how I'm getting after these fish and kind of dissecting the water, just three sections. So I do one cast towards the front, another cast kind of middle. I'll pitch on this close side, and then I'll pitch on the far side. And when you're just going, I'm just moving, because if you pitch in an area, don't pitch again, because I found that if you cast in an area, there's a bass there, they'll probably eat it, but they definitely will not eat it. If they don't eat it the first time, they're not going to eat it the second time. Don't cast the same spot twice. Make your pitch, give it a bounce, and move on. Just covering water. Now, if you have a kayak, and you're just targeting the main pylons and dropping right on them, you're going to catch way more fish than what I'm doing, because they just stack up on those things. Oh, I just had a follower. Dang. Not sure if you guys saw that. I just had a bass come up and follow it on the way up. I'd like to see at least one more. One or two more. Fish, there we go. I was like, I should have reached bottom by now, but I didn't. Nice, good little spotty. I think he's barely hooked. There we go. He unfortunately broke my leader, but the good thing is, so we can get it out. There we go. Nice, good fish. Let him go. There we go. Little spotty came after it. Nice. Nice. Little guy. Welcome back, guys. This is actually day 2. I only caught those two larger spotties that first day, so I'm like, yeah, might as well come back. That tells me I need to slow my retrieve. I was retrieving it, and he went up for it. There we go. Another one came up for it. This guy's a little better. Good little spotty. They've been I've been popping it, and they've been coming up for it after I start the retrieve. So I've been slowing it down, not just cranking it in. Nice. 2 little guys so far. Not that bad. Well, lost my jig, but I caught 2 more guys, so not that bad. Alrighty guys, well, unfortunately I didn't bring a second jig head, so they got broke off just right down there in the marina, but hey, that's fishing. But I'm glad I was able to grab those 2 extra little spotties. So the day before and today, 4 fish total for probably about 2 hours worth of fishing. Appreciate everyone coming out and watching today's video. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating would be much appreciated. And if you want to let me know what you thought of the video, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. And don't miss out on any future uploads. Consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, God bless, tight lines. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.